right. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the TFTuesday Podcast. My name is Zil. It's good to have you all back here again today. It has been kind of a crazy week in terms of my plans and such, and the weather, and just everything. So it's good to be recentering and getting to record an episode. As always, if you like the work that we do, you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/TFTuesdayPod. We have a wonderful community over on Discord, and I really appreciate all the folks who continue to support this project as we trundle along, as we're starting to get close to episode 150, if you can believe. But enough about that. I'm really excited because I have two very special guests here with me today to chat a little bit about cross signals. So Gunzil and Mira, if you'd like to introduce yourselves.
I am Gunzil. I go by he, they, generally. And I am the, I guess, writer. Yes, I am the writer and make everything work person. Writer and programmer. I am the writer and programmer of cross signals.
Amazing.
Hi, my name is Mira Alcott. I am the Transformistress, and I make the art, the CGs and the sprite art for cross signals.
Awesome. Yeah, it's really good to have you both here again. And, you know, I was really excited to kind of play through the demo and all the different routes in cross signals so far. But maybe if you both would like to kind of share an overview as to what cross signals is about and how it came to be.
Yeah. So as for what it is a body swap visual novel that tries to dig a lot deeper into body swap than most fiction that I've seen or read. Mm-hmm. And while also having some fun intimate scenes along the way.
It's our little love letter to body swap.
Yeah. Now, how it came to be is kind of an interesting story. And with all of my visual novel stories comes back to crowdsourced visual novel student transfer. So when did I started working on, I think I found student transfer in like 2017 or something. And I think I was on 4chan of all places, just being like, where's some TF stuff? And people were talking about student transfer, and I'm like, oh, it's a visual novel, okay. And I download it, and it was this weird experience where I played it, and I'm like, this isn't like hentai writing, and looking back on it, it kind of did have a lot of not good writing in it, but there were these sparks of oh, this is written by a person with a sense of humor that cared about the setting and plot, but still was able to have these kind of kink forward scenarios come forth from that.
Yeah.
And I got really into it. I ended up joining the team. I ended up writing multiple finished routes for it, both of which involving, one swapping with a MILF, one swapping with merely an attractive older lady who is childless. And that all was happening in the background during Mice T's development, because about a year into working on Student Transfer, I'm like, why would I do all this work for no money when I could work with friends to make money, and then maybe we could sell it and make other games too. So basically I was dual fisting visual novels, double fisting. I was helping with Mice T for plot overview, programming, and expressions, and then I'd go over and I'd write a bunch of student transfer content to get my body swap kink stuff in. Now, as for why cross signals exists, there are a couple things about student transfer, or a couple limitations to it that kind of kept coming up. The first is because it's crowdsourced, there isn't really a proper team. It's a whole bunch of people doing a whole bunch of random things.
Right.
So there'd be there'd generally be people working on their own routes and not reading each other's stuff. And then sometimes someone would come in and do some expression work or other things to help. It was founded upon stolen art they ripped art assets from a Japanese visual novel.
Oh jeez.
And they were like professional grade assets. So like if you wanted to make more assets, you had to like match like this existing style that was very hard to match. So you're like really limited there. And then like the things that kicked off Cross Signals existing, me going, you know what, I'm making my own body swap visual novel. Screw this. Screw these guys. Well, not really. I cannot escape them. It's a gravitational pull I'm trying to get away from, and I might someday. But the thing that kicked off Cross Signals existing was, it was the confluence of me writing this like really fun kink forward romp where it was like two of the characters just like possessing random characters and it being like a fun, like I tried writing the novel itself has like so many characters. I tried to do a ensemble route where it's like, oh, here's an underused character, let's hang out as them for a bit, now let's hang out with this other character and this other thing. And I like did all this writing and it was like very fun, and like no one on the dev team acknowledged or cared about it other than like someone that wasn't allowed in the dev team because his art wasn't good enough.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, I have like this other person that wants to draw. And it's like, well, his art can't match the production grade assets, but we could use AI art. We could AI generate art. And at like the moment like AI generated art started appearing as like a thing that like most of the people are like, yes, this is a good thing. This is the thing we should do. I think like I was venting to Mira about it.
And then I said we should make our own body swap visual novel with blackjack and hookers.
Yes.
And those were my exact words.
Yeah, you like posted the like Mean Girls still of like get in the car, loser, we're making a body swap VN. And then I was like, maybe this is happening. I remember we like went, I think we did it at some initial brainstorming and we went back to the team. And I think Zoe's like, you want to work on 2 visual novels at the same time? I'm like, okay, so I've already been double fisting visual novels. I'm just taking the moonlit thing with stolen assets and this weird crowdsource thing, and I'm moving that energy into like an official Sin Switch property. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that was what really kicked it off.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I gotta say, I love the Mean Girls meme inclusion. That is an incredible way to kickstart something. So I guess then, obviously, this kind of spun out of that kind of background context and therefore had a much more focused team working on it compared to like obviously Mice Tea and some of the other stuff. So I was curious how you two kind of like settled on how the approach was going to work and how like you kind of brainstormed the character creation as a like whole in terms of both like how they were going to be written but also how they're going to be portrayed in the art.
Yeah.
So I think I was the first one who... I'm a sucker for visual novels that let you put your own name in there so that you can live vicariously through the visual novel. Like, that was my pitch. Mm-hmm. And so then we kind of... I tried to think of, like, okay, stereotypical... And... Okay. You know what? Fuck it. So, you know Klein from Sword Art Online?
Yes.
Okay, so, I remember there was, like, a Mother's Basement video or something along those lines where they were like, hey, this character looks more interesting. I want to see more of this character. So I was like, that, like, just kind of lived rent-free in my head for a couple of years. So when it came time to, the main character we dub as, Sam. Mm-hmm. If you don't, pick a choose your own character name, we call him Sam. So when it came time to make concept art for Sam, I definitely pulled from that place of like, yeah, I don't want to make generic anime protagonist with like, the black hair and the bangs and everything. Yeah. Like I wanted to kind of try to do something a little different. And that's kind of how we settled on the basic look of Sam.
Yeah. I know the other characters and like the route archetypes and themes in general, pretty much all of them are either repurposed ideas I had for student transfer routes or abandoned student transfer routes that I wanted to like give my own spin on, or I guess like fully realize while having full control of like the plot and art pipeline. Because it turns out when you're working on a crowdsourced project and people say, well, the body swap mechanic works this way, you can't just change it and you're stuck with it. So like, yeah, just having that degree of freedom. So I think from the top, it's like Jenny swap is... It's really funny with Jenny swap because Jenny Winters was an abandoned student transfer route I wrote where the main character makes a wish. I forget what it is, but he ends up like a reality change happens and now he's like, I think like a woman in like her mid-20s, like a teacher in her mid-20s named Jennifer Winters or something.
Gotcha.
And it was just like, oh, look at me. I'm a lady and I like certain kinds of video games and blah, blah, blah. But it was this thing I like started because, what was it? One of the routes I wrote, Leona swap. Leona Winters is like a teacher. And I was like, I'm going to have a character related to this character from student transfer and have a loose connection there. Yeah, Jenny swap was like a combination of, I want to do like a long-term swap where two characters are just stuck for a very long time and it takes so long that they really start like having to acclimate and like customize their own lives, but it's not permanent. So they're not, so there's this like resistance of like, how far do I go? There's going to be a route called DMV, and it was where John of student transfer swaps with Leona, who's like this teacher, and then like the body swap device gets stuck in a safe, and then like they lose all of their ID and driver's license and blah 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 get stolen.
Yeah.
And they're like, how do I get in the safety deposit box if I don't have my ID? And it's like, well, go to the DMV and like order a new driver's license. Oh, whoops, I don't have my birth certificate. Okay, we'll order a new birth certificate and wait for that to, oh, it got lost in the mail. Okay, here's the next step. And it would just be this thing where it would just keep going on longer and longer and longer, and they'd keep being more and more like entrenched in this swap. And that came at a point where I'm like, I can't do that one anymore. But a lot of those, like the general themes came into Jenny swap, and then like I think Mira was like, they gotta be a nerd. I'm drawing a nerd girl. I'm drawing a curvy nerd girl.
Yeah, I was definitely kind of working off of archetypes that I wanted to see are eggy, or eggy if you choose him/her to be eggy.
Yeah.
In the game, I picked a couple of archetypes that I really wanted to see, and I was like, I want to see a nerdy girl, I want to see a mean girl, and I want to see like a classy professor lady.
Yeah, which the mean girl is, Violet swap is strongly modeled after a long dead necrofied student transfer route called Mistaken Identity, where John gets stuck as the mean popular girl Sayaka and then is like forced to act like her, like forced to impersonate her basically.
Yeah.
And then there's like this weird thing where like people think that like Sayaka's a horrible person because they think that the impression that the character is giving is like a perfect impression, and it's not. It's like based on his like perception of her, which is the thing I then carried over with Violet. And then like had a couple other things in terms of like, but yeah, that was like okay, here's the one where I want to go hard into impersonation with a character who like is very precious about how they're portrayed. Nicole swap came from, that's like a fusion of any of the older woman swaps, and then like Abby swap, which was the one where like Abby swap was one where like it's like the principal like steals the main character's life and then steals a bunch of his memories, and it's like, haha, you're stuck as like an older lady forever, bye sucker. And that one was like very thematically, that one was like a little bit dark, but there's some interesting bits in there, and I always gravitate toward like kind of age changes. But yeah, that was like where that one came from. And then like I think Robin was like a freebie that did not come from any specific like student transfer like missed potential. I think that was just Mira being like, we gotta have a T for T, There's got to be a T for T.
Yeah, I was adamant about that. I know that there is, unfortunately, outside of like this one other FTM creator that I follow called Mopon on DeviantArt, I believe.
Yes.
I don't see a lot of wholesome trans mask TGs, so I was like, hey, let's put in a free bingo card slot. We have a T for T character swap where they both they both just swap and they're like, oh, this is way better.
Yeah.
But also, again, I say that, but Gunzil is very good at pacing everything out because I'm, unfortunately for myself, a very impatient woman, and I'm like, oh, I want to get to the good stuff right now. I want to see this, and I want to draw this, and then Gunzil's like, no, just wait. We gotta wait. We gotta build up to it, and they're usually right.
The yearning is the good part.
Yeah.
The yearning is the good part. You're right. And I will say, I was delighted when I realized that Robin's route was like kind of a T for T sort of approach, because it's so rare to see like really good FTM content. And so it was funny because I just like the main character, I was like, oh, interesting. One of these is not going to be a woman, and then I was like, oh my god, it's FTM. Oh my god. So I was very excited when I that was the first one I played, hilariously enough. So
I'm surprised at how long we got away with that twist.
Yeah.
Yeah, the godlike strength of that binder. I think
Yeah,
I think we had to
seriously.
talk down the like chest size to be like, okay, there's no way a chest of that size would fit in a bunch of sports bras. Like, let's pull it back a little.
Unfortunately, it's me. You always have to turn down the chest size. Yeah, no. What also did the heavy lifting was the removal and then the replacement of the eyelashes.
Oh, that was really funny. It was like, I think the first character design was like, yeah, we like put some eyelashes. I'm like, let's take the mascara off. And then like when Sam swaps with Robin, like mascara like magically appears on their face, and it's like, okay, well, I guess like you're femme enough where you just get the magical mascara comes on, the girl mascara that you use for in 2D illustrations.
Sam's innate feminist coming in, and
Truly.
Yeah, you're either the feminist or the submissive and breedability. If there's
God.
Yeah, I absolutely. Robin is a delight. He is my son. I love him so much.
He's amazing. No, I love him too. And I guess then, because this kind of touches on something else I was going to ask, like, in terms of like the visual approach, how would you say like that the visual style element helped to shape the direction of the story? Because obviously you're coming, especially with you, Gunzil, coming from student transfer where the art design was so like restrictive. I was curious in terms of how Mira's art maybe influenced how you're going to write some of the routes and vice versa.
There's definitely, I mean, with Mice Tea and Coffee Buns as well, like there was always like a high degree of like how many cute little outfits can we put our characters in? But I think for Cross Signals, we're trying to be a little more conservative. I know, like in Coffee Buns, we do the insane thing of characters they change their outfit every day, and they don't wear the same thing they don't wear the same thing twice in a row or like alternate. Yeah. So it's like most of them have like 5 outfits to cycle through. With Cross Signals, like, well, I think, hold on, rewinding a bit. With Cross Signals, when we came into it and we can do a body swap visual novel, and we're doing all the art from scratch and have full control, what do we want to portray, basically? We ended up going, okay, well, we're going to give everyone like a default outfit, because that's not necessarily the thing we want to like focus on. And we ended up focusing on like to really drive home the swaps. We wanted to make it where it's like we have our character sprites, and then we change their poses to match like
body language.
The soul and the body. Yeah, we change the body language, and then we change I think like the mouths come with the soul, and then the like eye colors do.
The eye color, yeah.
So it's like we try to like have like enough of like that like expert like Sam, Jenny, like we have enough of the Sam flavor in Jenny or enough of the Jenny flavor in Sam.
So you can tell who's behind the face without even like needing to, like, obviously you know it's a body swap novel, but it's nice to be able to look at it and be like, yeah, they would hold themselves differently. They wouldn't just be like the same sprite. They would be, you know, their body language would be completely different, and it's a lot of fun to portray that.
Yeah, and then it goes into like as routes go on, like the body customization portion where it's like, or like the outfit changes.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll see that with like Violet, she casts her mean girl energy into like Sam's fat, like gets him a new wardrobe basically and starts dressing like a ski movie villain.
That was the term that I used. I was like, yes, I want ski movie villain Sam when Violet is at the controls. Like,
I love it.
Yeah, we haven't gone to like Jenny body customization, though I think that'll.
But speaking of the sprites gave our amazing musician the idea to have the actual themes for every character be modular, where like when the bodies swap, the instruments swap.
Oh, that's so cool. I didn't even realize that.
It was brilliant when they explained it to me, and I was like, oh my god, that's fucking amazing.
I love it. Honestly, I was gonna say the soundtrack that I got to hear in the demo was so like addictive. There was at one point I had to step away to deal with something, and I didn't like close the window, and I just got completely lost in the music. And I was like, it was like 20 minutes past, and I was like, wait, I didn't mute the music. Oh, I've just been listening to it the whole time. And like, I don't know, I was really impressed with the soundtrack in particular.
Yeah, that was a very lucky pull. I was playing Rhythm Doctor, a rhythm game, and I was playing like a custom map, and I was like, I really like this song. I'll look up like the artist behind this like custom Rhythm Doctor map. And then I went to their YouTube, and he's like, I'm open to commissions. And I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just like email him and see if he wants to do like a soundtrack. And he's like, yes, I'll need to come up with a pseudonym because this is not safe for work, but I am interested in working on this project. And I went, wow, okay. And then he just slammed out a bunch of music, and I'm like, no, just very happy with how that whole arrangement turned out. Turns out sometimes you just send an email and then you end up finding someone who is interested in working with your project and has a lot of great ideas to add to it.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And like you said, such a good pull.
Literally the only thing keeping me from giving them a shout out is the fact that they wanted to remain under a pseudonym because it's not safe for work. But if we were allowed to, you know, I would be saying he's just good at what he does.
Yeah.
Very, very good at what he does.
No, I dig it. I guess then it sounds like some of this maybe came from like some of the inspirations from student transfer, but one of the things I really noticed was how each of the routes had those like distinctive tones, like, you know, the mean girl, the teacher archetype, those kinds of things. But they also go in really interesting directions. Like, for example, you kind of alluded to how the Nicole route was based off of that kind of like, haha, sucker. And it's almost like horror adjacent for like the first portion of the actual route itself. And then you've got kind of like a more playful dynamic with like Sam and Jenny's route and all of that. So I was curious if there were any other things that helped you settle on the tone for each route, and if there was always that sort of distinction envisioned in terms of writing tone for each one of them.
Can I talk about the joke?
What is the joke?
The team hero and team dark joke.
Oh yeah, that's like that is indeed how we frame the routes. It's true.
Oh my god.
So in Sonic Heroes, what was it?
Sonic Adventure.
Sonic Adventure. Yeah, Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah.
There's Team Hero and Team Dark.
Yes.
And, Team Hero is Jenny and Robin swap, where it's like a much lighter tone, a little more wish-fulfilling, little lower stakes. And then there's Team Dark, which is Violet swap and Nicole swap, being like, yes, let's really make these characters squirm.
Yeah.
It's the sweet and spicy. It's like, I really, really like conflict. I really like it when the characters like fucking hate each other and are clawing at each other's throats, while also being in not the right bodies, and just what a mess that is. And it just kind of provides this, I think it provides this really nice range of like, if you switch bodies with someone, what would happen? And it's like, well, if you switch with like the very nice, kind of neurotic, anxious girl, she's gonna like try and like do her best to help you through it, and just this really sweet little slow building romance. Or you can switch with like your best friend's girlfriend who kind of hates you, and she is gonna scream at you and force you to act like her, and then get mad because you're not doing a good enough job of acting like her, and like it turns out like one of her friends is like a lesbian dommy mommy, and boy is she just gonna start ripping and tearing through everything, and oh god, what is happening? And it's just like, yes, this chaos that's occurring is so delicious.
It really is, I gotta say. And so now I have to ask then, who is Shadow in this situation? I have to ask.
Oh god.
Is it just I don't know.
Because I feel like
is that just Nicole?
Nicole's more like Eggman. Like,
yeah, I was
Nicole's
gonna say
just straight up like, yeah, I'm taking your life. Like she justifies it to herself. Like we worked very hard to like make it so that like to make her somewhat sympathetic, so that like, you know, you can see like how she justified it to herself. But at the same time, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, no, she's doing a bad, selfish thing, and now you have to deal with her midlife crisis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Nicole has the most damage to make Shadow work, though. Yeah, I don't know. I guess Eggman is the one with the schemes, basically.
Yeah.
Maybe Charlotte can be Shadow because she's the best character.
I love it. Oh my gosh. I guess then when it comes to the swap routes in particular, something I noticed in a number of them is you get some brief like POV swaps in some of the past, just to better illustrate parts of the story where Sam isn't around. And first of all, I loved it. But second of all, were you worried about breaking immersion at all by sliding these in, or did these always feel like kind of a natural way to cover ground that maybe you wouldn't have been able to otherwise?
Yeah, I do know that. I remember sometimes things happen because in student transfer, we just never did it. And then I was like, yeah, well, maybe I'm going to do it now. One of those, like in student transfer, we just like never did POV swaps. And I'm like, but at the same time, usually for POV, actually, I think there was a pitch at one point. Like, what if we just had like a Jenny, like, what if we had a POV of like the other swapped character during a route? And I thought that was a cool idea, but then it was also a lot of work to like figure out some of those things, and I never like came back to it.
Yeah.
But for like kind of the brief POVs, because that's like a character relaying their experiences to Sam, and you're kind of like viewing it as like a story that is being told to you. In that way, it does slot within the narrative. In a way, that's fine. But yeah, I will say that there were points where we have thought about, and it might happen, like especially in Jenny Swap, be like, all right, 2 months later, what's Jenny up to? What's an average day for Jenny stuck in a boy's body, like, kind of thing. Because I think there's a lot of interesting ground that you can cover that is a little hard to do when you're tethered to a either guy or trans lady in denial, basically. When you have your AMAB POV, basically.
Yeah. I will say one of my favorite elements from the brief POV swaps was not only getting to hear Jenny internally screaming, like that literally took me out in Robin's route, but also the mini game. And I have to ask how you settled on the mini game because I was like, oh my god, Ace Attorney? Question mark?
Yeah, that was like, let's see here.
That was you having fun. That was you having a good time.
So with the Team Dark routes, so the thing about the Team Dark routes is that there's a deep hunger within me. There's a carnal urge for me to really dig into those that runs counter to our beautiful patrons who always vote for Jenny or Robin because they want the nice bubble gum and candy. And I'm like, no, I want the spicy, bitter, that nasty stuff. But that was like, I think I had been like circling around Nicole Swap for like, I want to say like 6 months. Like it was a long time of like, how am I starting this route off? Like I was like having a ton of writer's block just trying to figure out how to even kick it off. And I think I forget what it was, but at some point I like finally started making headway. I finally started figuring out like, this is how the route works. This is how it starts. And like the moment I like got my little claws into there, the moment I'm like, yes, I'm stuck as this curvy older teacher. Oh yeah, she's stealing my body. Oh yeah, it's happening. I was just like, I just entered like the like writing fixation world. I entered my horny devil trigger fired off. And like I remember it was like specifically as soon as I hit that point, I'm like, all right, I am filling all of my spare time with writing now. Oh, I think it was like Mira pitched Nicole Swap. That's right. Nicole Swap was originally going to be a solo route where, and this is all spoilers, but I mean, that's kind of how these go.
Yeah.
It was going to be a solo route where Sam stuck as Nicole forever, ? And then he dates a hunky DILF. Mm-hmm. He dates a hunky DILF and has a beautiful happily ever after. And then Nicole's like, wait a minute, I'm mad because then you got to be happy now. What the fuck? And that was like that initial pitch. And I was like, ho hum, yes, I agree. Like on a surface level, I agree. That's fun. I agree. We should do that. And then Mira's like, but what if also Danny and Eric got turned into MILFs, and Eric, the very cis het masculine character, is like gets forced into like the prissy rich lady's body, and then they're like slowly uncontrollably controlling memories until they identity death into each other. And I was like, holy shit, why are you doing this to me? Why are you forcing this round to an existence? I cannot think of anything else. Fuck you. Oh my god. So I was like, I have to get to that scene now. And that was just like, I was like, fuck everything else in my life. All I'm doing is figuring out how to get to that scene. And I entered this writing fervor and was just like, all right, this scene done. Okay, I now need to get to the part where Danny figures out what's going on so he can get involved so the phone can explode and swap him with a MILF. Okay, Danny POV time. What's up with Danny? Oh yeah, he's a silly little freak. What are silly little things we can do? And it just kept going and going and going. But it was very fun when we got to the end, because I'm like, okay, well, how do I want this to go? Danny should like be able to figure it out through doing some investigation. It would be fun if that was a mini game. And I actually, our good friend Heartgear, she is working on a forever visual novel that might come out someday called Collector. Oh, nice. The Collector. And she, at one point, she's like, I want to have adventure game sequences in it, like a long time ago. And I like helped her like implement little adventure game sequences. And then I think like another friend, helped like polish those up later, but I like went into the collector code base and I like found the like scripts for point and click adventure things, and I went, thank you, yoink, and then I like implemented those in the game and then like set up that little point and click sequence. But yeah, it was like I wanted to have something that was like, I guess just really, I don't know, that was just always how I had like Danny's vibe in my mind, and I like really need to sell that in the POV swap of like, he's just dancing on little sunshine and rainbows all the time, like he's just having a fun little time, and just like, yeah, just need to like really lean into that energy.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a certain degree of like, I could do all the things. I could do more. Like that was the first time I did any kind of like, I figured out how to like change the user interface, because I'm like, I need the user interface to be different when I'm the older teacher lady. I need it in my bones. Like, so
pump it straight into your veins.
Yeah, I need it in my veins. And that was fun, because like, oh, I solved the programming challenge. And now we're like actually implementing all the custom GUIs for everyone else.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like, I feel like there's a lot of like paving the road through the things that like activate a part of my brain that make me hyper fixate on certain concepts. And then like once I like wake up from my body swap writing bender, I'm like, cool. Well, the dust is settled, and now I can go back to writing Robin swap and Jenny swap, I guess. And those are also fun for different reasons.
I love it. I have to say, one of my favorite things about the little mini game was if you click on the book bag first, they're like, okay, but like, are we really going to have it over that quickly? And that absolutely sent me. Yeah,
that Danny is such a fun character, and also like has a certain like I really put in like a lot of the like meta knowledge stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Where he's just like I think there's also just a couple lines where he's just like, where Sam's like alluding to like, hey, I might be your friend stuck in a lady's body kind of thing, and he like, I think it's like mental. He's like, has she seen my internet history? Like, what's she doing? Because like he's supposed to be like the genre savvy character who's like really, really into these things and really, really, really wants to swap bodies with a girl. He will explode if he does not swap bodies with a girl.
Yes.
As soon as possible.
Still one of my favorite fucking lines in the whole fucking novel is, I will explode if I don't swap with a girl.
Oh my god. Yeah. No, that and I will say thwarting an evil plan with a vibe and friendship was up there in terms of lines.
Yeah.
I was thwarted
He's just
by a
special little
vibe.
boy. He's a special little boy until he turns into a girl, and then is a girl forever because he just smashed the phone.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I love Danny. And I guess then, you know, one of the things I really appreciated also, and this is kind of goes with each of the routes, is it allows for that kind of overall gender exploration by prompting you to like, you can either make this a journey where it's basically an egg character who's coming to like a kind of a trans realization, or it can just be, I'm just enjoying the fun gender play, but I am who I am. And so I was curious to know a little bit about how you work to build out that mechanic in a thoughtful way in each route.
Yeah. Well, I know we committed to it because Mira's like, I want to have my yummy egg content. And I was like, I want to have my boy that gets bullied into dresses and doesn't like it, but too bad, and you are gonna, whether or not you like it, you're stuck here, buckaroo. And trying to like, and I think also along with the thing where like you can pick your character's name, it's like, well, it'd be fun if like you can kind of pick how they feel about different things, which is the majority of the choices. The majority of the choices aren't like, what are you doing? It's like a linear story where it's like, how do you feel about these things? It was funny because Robin Swap was going to actually have I think my original pitch had a very quick off-ramp where it was like, well, if you're completely cis and Danny's like, I want it, then you're like, okay, have Robin's body and then I'll switch back and then it's over and Danny is in Robin's body forever now. And then it's like, yeah, but what if we didn't, what if instead it was a crazy sex romp? actually, and we kept it going regardless, and then it kind of stayed on those rails. I will say that I do feel like the fun thing with Jenny Swap in particular is that because it was first, we had a lot of bigger ideas of like, oh, these are all the things we're going to do. We're going to have all these different gender choices of different varieties. And then there's almost like a custom, like, okay, so like if you like, there's like accumulating like like points for like how deep in the trans sauce you want to be. But also like, oh, do you like breasts? Do you like having breasts? Do you like girl clothes? Do you like your voice being higher and things like that? And I was like, yes. And then at the end, there's this weird collection of checks we do that have all these different permutations. And I'm like, that seems very complicated. It might just be like a binary add up options thing at the end. So I guess to basically circle back around, I think right now what we do is like when there's like something where it's like, this is a gender moment that's occurring. It's nice to put that in because then the player can kind of self-insert and be like, oh, well, this is how I feel about this. And which I think is a lot of trans women picking the trans choices and then having fun picking the trans choices and having the trans lines happen, which is good. And it's nice to kind of be able to kind of like reinforce that in that way. Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of I do feel like once these stories are finished, there'll probably be some edit passes of like going through and then like finding different moments and then being like, okay, well, here are all the flags that I laid out for myself, and you know, this flag would apply to this line, so maybe let's adjust this line in this way and adjust this other line in this other way. But we do want to generally keep it to be like a linear story till you get to the end, and then once you get to the end, you'll have your like, well, if you're cis, then like these options are available as endings, but if you're trans and you want to stay this way, then like here are your other options for endings. Like we definitely have it as like high level. Like there will definitely be an ending where it's like Sam and Jenny switch back, but then Sam is like, actually I'm trans and I'm going to like transition traditionally, basically. And then you get to have like, I don't know, X years on HRT Sam.
Ascendant Sam.
Ascendant Sam.
Yeah. Transitioning the old-fashioned way while Danny's like, screw that, I'm gonna figure this out and switch with 11 girls. Be all the girls. But yeah, then like a non-trans Sam where it's like, oh no, I'm stuck this way forever, isn't this the worst? And like all the other gradients in between.
Yeah, exactly. No, I really dig that. And I guess one of the other things that I really appreciate, and like we've talked a lot about Danny, but like in particular, I find that like there's a real depth to the cast outside of just the people that Sam is swapping with. I mean, like we talked a little bit about Eric, particularly in terms of the MILF's body swap route, but also like Haley and a bunch of other characters that are involved that have like, they have like real depth. They have their own goals, they have their own motivations, etc. And I was curious if any of those kinds of like inspirations came from student transfer for somewhere else, or like how you came up with some of those additional backstories.
Yeah. So the game being an ensemble cast where nearly every character that like appears on screen like has a name and like sprite and their own stuff going on was definitely like a student transfer thing. That game has like 50 characters or something insane, and you could potentially swap with any of them. It's an infinitely large project. And because of that, you can't do a lot of the custom art stuff that we're doing. But I think there's a little bit of that, and also like I think in Mice T we did a similar like we have like the principal cast, but then we have like these NPCs that are all have their own art and have their own like kind of thing going on, and they seem distinct and they're not just like generic guy. But yeah, I think for cross signals, I think a central core tenet of body swap for me, and one of the items I really like, is there's either the element of impersonating whoever's body you're stuck in around people that they're close to, or if you're not impersonating them, like just trying to get by with these other people that would know them. or have these pre-existing relationships with them. And that kind of asks you to then like establish those characters and figure out what their deals are. There's also a lot of convenient groups of 3 friends for some reason. It's very convenient how there are exactly 3 mean girls and there's 3 MILFs.
Hey, rule of 3 is a very important literary device.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
No other reason. Yeah.
I think playing some double duty where like in routes where I'm not force femming Eric, which does make me turn me into a feral monster. It is my absolute favorite flavor and favorite thing in the entire game is force femming Eric. But there are times when I do not do it, and instead he's just like the nice, dependable friend that like that either works very well as like here's a touchstone of like masculinity that Sam can kind of compare himself to.
Yeah.
Or like just be there for him. Like I think in Nicole's swap, just him and Danny just being like, we need to be here for our friend. That I thought that's like one of those things where, I wanted to show that kind of like level of human connection that can transcend an evil lady stealing your life forever. Because I feel like I've read a lot of things where it's like, oh no, my life got stolen and I'm so complacent and I can't fix anything and I'll wallow in sadness now. But anyway, to loop back around, then there's like, there'll be instances where I'm like, well, we should probably have like a roommate for Jenny. Now Haley exists and she's very fun. Well, let's add another connection. She's like Danny's sister, and now they have some amount of like baggage there. It's like, well, we need a DILF that Sam Nicole eventually date. All right, well, let's make it Violet's dad because that would be funny if now Sam Nicole is Violet's stepmom. So it's like now that guy's in there. So there's a lot of like kind of like slowly building out cast members and then being like, okay, I'm adding this character, but like how can I integrate them into the story where even if they're not like a central part of the plot, they'll at least keep they can still show up in other routes. So it's like Linda is Nicole's like prissy rich friend, but she's also the cheer coach, so she can like she'll appear in like Robin Swap and like other routes as just like a kind of like bit character that's the cheer coach, but she has like these other bits. It's like Melody is the Japanese teacher and another one of like Nicole's friends. And that allows us to kind of have that sort of, it's like trying to like establish those characters and then like use them efficiently so they can get as much as we can out of them.
No, I love it. And I think that kind of interplay and having all the characters kind of get to shuffle around in different ways in each route is the hallmark of an interesting story. So I really appreciate their inclusion. And I guess, we've talked about them, I guess, a little bit separately, but, Violet and Eric in particular are a really interesting pairing for me, particularly obviously in like the Violet swap route, but also like in terms of how the audience kind of views them in the routes outside of that one. And I get the sense that the audience is really only getting a passing view of their dynamic in other routes, but do you have like a specific vibe you're hoping to build in the audience's mind related to their pairing?
It's like it is a relationship that burns hot and then it's one of those ones where it's like they're having fun. I don't think they're gonna stay together, but they're having fun. I think the way I have it is like, well, Eric's trying to make it work. Yeah. Violet's like kind of possessive. But boy is she good in bed. Like, holy moly. So it is one of those things, because I think one thing that was kind of tricky is like, okay, well, we want Violet to not necessarily be, we want her to be kind of a bad girlfriend because we want to have the opportunity to have Sam come in and be like, but what if I was your girlfriend though, instead of her? It's like we wanted to like plant those seeds, but we don't want it to be like, well, what the hell, why are you dating her in the first place? Like, why are you this shallow? So I think there's definitely like this like balancing act that we're playing of like, and I think a good way to put it is like, when things are good, they're good. When things are bad, they're bad. And there's a lot of bad things that happen in Violet Swap, and they just kind of build upon each other. So I think that's kind of a way to put it. But yeah, it's like that one's kind of a tricky tightrope, Because there's a certain degree. There's a reason why in Violet Swap, Sam is like, why are you dating her? This doesn't make any sense. And Eric's like, I don't know. It's just just happening, man.
And then there's me in the corner, just being like, but you could date Sam though. But best friend to girlfriend pipeline though. That was,
it's pretty juicy.
Yeah, that was something that I really and that's something that we're absolutely going to explore in the because right now we have two versions of the Violet Swap. Most of the routes we have like two versions planned.
Yeah.
Only the Team Dark ones. The Team
the
Team Hero ones are one rail, and Team Dark has the
multi-track drifting.
It has the
multi-track drifting.
It has the solo hetero route, and then the group lesbian orgy route, I guess.
In other words, it has the Mira route and the Gunzil route.
Yeah.
Like, yes, this is the one that I like, and then Gunzil's like, this is the one that I like, and we kind of work on that. Sorry. Right, but yeah, one of the things I really wanted to push was Sam is a better girlfriend than Violet. Like, that was something that I really, really, really wanted to see. But at the same time, Gunzil made a good point where it was like, we can't just make Violet like a caricature, though, or like a caricature. Yeah. Thank you. Sorry. Like, you know, she needs, like, she's a person, and she needs to actually, like, you know, there needs to be a reason for them to actually be together. And I was like, you're right.
Yeah, so the fun about toxic relationships is that, like, it's not like a toxic relationship, it's just a character is like one of the party one of the two being like, I'm a bad person and I'm always going to be mean to you and all these other things. Like, it's like, no, there's like a juice, there's like a sign. It's like, no, they're mean sometimes, but then they're so good other times. And then it's like, oh, it's so messy. And it's like, oh, we had these good days and these good things happen. And yeah, there are these other bad things, but like, maybe I can overlook those. Mm-hmm. And just like, you got to have that, like, that ebb and flow where it's like, especially when it's like, if you're deep in the sauce, it's like, and then someone else like, I think you're in a toxic relationship, and like having that be called out and be like, oh, you're right. Like, being able to do that. Yeah, there was like an early pitch where Mira's like, you should have it so like Violet like tells Sam to break up with Eric for her. And I'm like, why would you do that when you could steal her boyfriend away and gloat about it? Why would you like abandon that yummy, juicy fruit over there? You could tell her to get lost, nerd. I'm gonna go rail my boyfriend. He's a football star, you know. It's like, you gotta have that. I want to tell a mean girl to eat my shorts because this is my body now and I'm keeping it forever. That was like another one. Mira's like, what if Violet was trans? I'm like, no, she gets to suffer. She's stuck in a boy body and she's gonna not like it, and that is the good part.
Yeah,
this is Team Dark.
It's a necessary evil, because I read through that. I think about that first Violet swap scene of Violet trying to cuddle with Eric and everything, and feeling
it's
gross.
So funny.
And just I feel she is not a great person, but she's not as bad as Nicole, so I feel really bad for Violet. I'm like, yeah, she doesn't deserve this. Like, I'm a trans girl. I know what dysphoria feels like. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Like, and then to see Violet go through that, I'm like, oh, fuck, I feel really, really bad for her. And then it turns right around later when she makes certain decisions, but other than that...
Yeah, she bounces back.
Yeah, she bounces back.
She finds and wields the male privilege like a mighty hammer.
Like a ski villain.
Definitely like a ski villain.
Oh my gosh. No, I love it. And then I guess I gotta ask, obviously we've talked a lot about how wonderful Danny is as a character, but I was curious as to at what point you decided you were going to have a character who knew all the tropes and understood like very thoroughly and very much wanted to be in a body swap situation. What was that moment that you decided, no, we have to include a character like that?
I feel like it was like a snowball effect. Like I never went, like at the beginning I didn't go, I'm going to have a genre savvy character and they're going to know all these things and this, and this. It felt like it was like this slow burn of like, So I think the inception of Danny, and this is part of that like efficiency type thing, came from two sources. The first was in Robin Swap, I needed to have another person that really, really wanted to use the phone after Robin and Sam switch bodies so that so basically there's like someone pressuring Sam like, okay, well, maybe you should keep doing this because this other person wants to use it first. Or another way was going to be like, oh, well, if you don't want that body, like, I'll take it. It's my turn on the Xbox. And I think my very first inception of that was like a gender fluid femboy type character who wasn't necessarily like traditionally trans, but did want to switch bodies with a girl. And did think that would be a really fun thing to do. I had like this scene in my head of this character being like, I'm not trans, I just want to switch bodies with a girl. And then another character being like, that's trans. And it's like, no, it's different. But also I do want to switch bodies with a girl. And just like having a weird circular, it's like the is this your wallet SpongeBob thing, like circular argument of like, I'm not agreeing to this label, but I will agree to every part of the label that you assign to me.
Exactly.
So I kind of had that like on the back burner. And then I think when we were drafting characters, I was like, we have Sam and we have Eric, who's like kind of the big traditionally masculine character. I'm like, and I think we need a nerd friend so that when Sam switches bodies with Violet, there's someone that he can be mean to. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess we'll make this be Danny. Look at him. He's just a fun little nerd friend. And then like that's where I was like writing the intro. I'm like, well, I need someone at Top Banana. And I like originally had like, I think it was going to be like Gavin Meisty's sister or something. And then I'm like, wait, hold on. What if we have it be a friend and have it be Danny? So I think there's like a very early draft where it's like Gavin's sister is doing the here's the swap phone shtick. But I was like, okay, let me redo this. And now it's like Sam's friend, Danny, look at him. And then adding that kind of initial stuff in. And then it was like, I think it was the moment where like Danny finds out about the phone and Jenny swap. And I did the part where he's like, oh my God, can I use the phone now? And it's like, oh, okay. I think this is starting to crystallize. Like the word's like, that is so cool. And then it's like, okay, well, let's give him sparkle eyes. Okay, he really wants this. And it's like, okay, well, now we're going to switch over to like Nicole swap and then have him have the whole like, okay, now I'm very genre savvy, and then go over to Robin, and it just kind of, and then it's like I'm gonna fucking explode, and just how it kind of builds over time. But yeah, that was like something that like over the course of writing I discovered Danny. We discovered Danny together, and he became this fully realized little guy who, it is funny because like we and generally fans continue to use he him pronouns, but it's like there will be a point where he does switch with a girl and then be like, I think I want to be this forever. I think I'm a girl. And then like have everyone be like, wow, what a surprise.
What a surprise.
I can't believe it.
No one saw this coming.
And then just the word she just appears in like giant, like 100-point font on the screen or something. And then it proceeds. But
incredible.
Yeah, it's like the funniest, like everyone knows what's happening here, everyone's in on this joke, and then there will be a point where it's like, wow, the she her happened.
Yeah. No, I love it.
I think like Charlotte was kind of similar, honestly, who's like, she's like one of Violet's friends are Charlotte and Bree, who are like the Mean Girl trio, and I was like kind of feeling them out. And like I think we drew Charlotte, and she was kind of this like, she's got that resting bitch face, and it's just like kind of got this intense aura. But there's just this, I think in Jenny
Very
Swap
shallow.
I had a thing where she just kind of like latches onto Danny, and is like, and then that kind of built up. I'm like, okay, well, honestly, I keep having this imagery in my head where like she is gay, so maybe she's gay, and then she's like, she just can immediately tell that Danny is trans, basically. And then just be like, okay, well, what if she's also just like really she's also into body swap, and then they're just kind of like freaks about it from like different angles, basically.
Yeah.
It's really wholesome in a kinky way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I love how much they're just like, I get tired of like the chase in fiction sometimes, where it's like, oh, you know, will they, won't they? Like, sometimes I just want them, no, they did, and now let's continue and let them be adorable together. And I do get my fill in the routes where we get to see Charlotte and Danny just be freaks together. It's really nice.
Yeah, the canon events of them becoming freaks together. They find each other, and they have there's a lot of scenes I'm very, very looking forward to getting to across all the routes, and there are Danny Charlotte scenes in different flavors, basically.
I can't wait, honestly, because the taste we do get of them in the Jenny route is really fun. So, and then I guess one of the other things that we kind of talked about this before, but I was curious just to know a bit more about how you settled on what sort of details you were going to swap visually so that you could tell that it was the other person behind the mask, so to speak. Because obviously the posing and the eye colors were something I very much picked up on. The mouse I didn't pick up on as immediately, and then it became very obvious in the Robin route because of the fang, which is great. It's fantastic. But, I wanted to ask more about that.
Yeah, Robin keeps the fang. Sam has like the wiggly smile
Monkey
that
smile.
keeps showing up during Euphoria scenes.
Yes.
I look at Sam and I think monkey for some reason. And I'm not a huge fan of monkeys, but for some reason it works for Sam, and that's just what I think. And then
I think like each character got an animal generally. It's like Jenny's got cat mouth. I know Violet's a shark.
Robin's
that makes a lot of
definitely
sense.
very wolf themed.
Yeah,
Yes.
Robin's got wolf stuff. I don't know if that keeps going with everyone else, which is funny because that isn't quite what we have slowly brainstormed what the animals would be if they drank the tea from Iced Tea. And that also is like slowly built up over time. It's gotten to a point with Jenny where I just keep adding like chipmunk isms. She'll just like eat a cracker with both hands and gnaw on it with her front teeth or whatever.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
She has big prey energy.
And Nicole's very much the opposite.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what Nicole's animal is. Or I don't know if she had what her mouth, or if it was just like she got the MILF mouth. She got the lady mouth.
Yeah, Nicole's mouth and Violet's fat mouth, I think, ended up being like a little bit similar. I forget like what the difference was between those. I think I made Nicole's mouths more like pursed, like pinched, like very, very like tight and like, she's a very serious person. Which is why it's so fucking funny when, Danny and Eric figure everything out and thwart her with a vibe. Like, it's so funny seeing.
Yeah, and she's like played completely straight, so she's still like, I cannot believe this. I cannot believe this is happening. I'm so like she's you can tell she's just like she's just boiling about it.
Oh yeah. Well, even her default expression with like the one hand up is very like, oh, if I could do something right now, I would, but I'm being forced not to, and it's killing me inside.
Oh, right. You were asking about what made us decide the how we would visually convey the body swaps.
Yes.
So, speaking of Nicole, that reveal of the red-eyed Sam, like, that was pretty much what fueled, like, the eye changes for everybody else. Was just like, oh, wait, what if one of the... I think it was Gunzil who said, what if one of the characters had red eyes? And then, you know, we played it, we're like, oh, did they actually swap? I'm so confused, da-da-da-da. And then for the reveal, we have the red eyes coming in, and it was like, yes, let's do it.
Yeah. Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss.
Yes. I mean, I do appreciate that she has some contrition later on, but I adored how much of a villain she was, especially at the start. It's perfect.
You need a villain to make the plot happen. That's very important.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is.
I do realize one thing I didn't note on was the swap mechanic itself.
Oh yeah,
which would be good to talk about, just because, like, again, this was something that we kind of thought about. I thought about in comparison to Student Transfer's swap mechanic, which has a similar one. Student Transfer has an alien device. I think that lets you do, like, it's kind of a... I think you can switch bodies like 9 times before it has to recharge or something nuts.
Okay.
And then it also has perfect mind control. I think it can do the memory trades. And I think it also can let you, like, transform. Like, it can do, like, cloning or twinning, basically. They basically, like, made it way too strong, and they added way too many things into it, and now it's stuck like that.
2 OP Bandit Tournament.
Yeah, 2 OP. Yeah. So it was like, we gotta nerf it, we gotta remove things, and let's try and give it, like, some nicer theming. So it's like, here's the body swap phone. It's like a crappy flip phone, and you can do 1 swap, and then it takes like 4 days to recharge the battery. And that allows for a couple crucial things. The first is that if 2 characters hate the swap and they want to swap back, too bad. Tough nuts. You have to be this way for 4 days. Get over it. Throw your tantrum. Get on with it, kind of thing. And that's kind of like how we're able to have this nice arc with Violet swap, where Violet is so pissed, but she can't do anything about it. And then, like, over the course of that 4 days, like, she's able to kind of, like, soften on certain aspects of it, while also getting more and more pissed off at Sam for not doing a good job at impersonating her.
Yeah.
It also, because it's like a crappy charge cable, we're able to, in Jenny swap, be like, okay, well, what if Jenny's cute little cat Rocky bites, like, the like charging cable clean in half, and then when they try to, like, fix the cable or use a different cable, like, now it's charging way slower, and now they're stuck like this forever. So again, like, how do we kind of, like, weaken the abilities of it? And then, like, I think the memory and command stuff, calendar stuff, is, like, pretty similar, but we at least kind of gave it some more fun theming around, like, a phone, basically.
That was definitely the fun of it during the pitch, was like, I enjoy just enough rules so that it makes the TF feel more grounded. Like, you know, like, oh, if it's themed around a phone, then, you know, we can use texting, we can use, you know, files and stuff, you know, and just So, Gunzil was the one who came up with the calendar entries, which was an excellent way to kind of mimic that function. And, just adding that little layer of, like, okay, it's a phone. And then working from there with the rules of the phone really helped kind of cement that as a trigger.
Yeah, all that aughts nostalgia of flip phones.
Yeah,
that can do, like, 4 things.
And where did the privacy screen element come from?
I just really like name. I like it when a character can't say who they really are.
I also like it when a character can't say who they really are.
Yeah, Team Dark.
Team Dark.
It's like one of those important, like, oh no, I can't tell people I'm really this other person. I guess I have to impersonate them. Oh no, I guess I have to impersonate being a curvy teacher, who's very attractive. So yeah, that I just noticed a very common trend amongst like various student transfer routes where it'd be like, all right, we have a command function, and now it's time for the command that they can't use. They have to use the correct names with the body, and I'm like, just make that a built-in thing. Just make you have to use the correct name button and hit start, and then it works.
Block caller ID.
Yeah. No, I love it. It was really nice to see it. And I mean, especially because of how important it comes to be in Nicole's route. I thought it was a really interesting addition to put in there. Well, that was all the questions I had. I don't know if there were any other things you wanted to maybe just shout out in terms of little tidbits on its development and what people can maybe expect moving forwards.
Shout out to Maeve Quinsley for making our absolutely amazing backgrounds.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Eaton Mouse / Jess, who is a fun story. There was a point where, like, we had a community member who made fan art. No, they wrote, okay, it's hard to call it a scenario. They reverse compiled the game, figured out how the sprite system and script worked, wrote their own fan fiction for Jenny Swap, made it playable, recompiled the game, and released it as like a fan game where it was like, what if they could switch back in 4 days and Sam is trans and experiences dysphoria, basically. But she like released the scenario, and at the time I was like drowning and having to do all the like sprite expression work, and I was just like, hey, this is really good. And like a lot, like, honestly, some of these animations are better than what I would do. Do you want to just do these for the actual game? And she was like, oh yeah, that sounds great. And now she's just doing that, and it's awesome. So that was like a really cool thing that happened, was like, you know, having it's really cool to both have people that are so enjoy the story so much they want to make their own spin on it, and then being able to like work with them to then have them help make the actual game like better, and just something where it's like, wow, now that I'm not drowning in that, I'm able to like write faster and just like delegate and stuff like that. So it's continued to be interesting how we were just able to like build the team by just like every so often it just feels like it's the right time and you reach out and it's the right person, and then things are just a little nicer.
No, that's awesome. And then I guess, you know, if folks are interested in following along with its development or joining in with any sort of fan conversations, where can they check out the game and all of the associated fun stuff?
I believe we're at cinswitch.itch.io, or I think cinnamonswitch.com does
also,
redirect.
Patreon.com/cinnamonswitch.
Yeah, I think, Cross Signals is currently itch.io only. It'll probably get a Steam demo. Probably, maybe when we finish the user interface and we get a trailer together. But yeah, right now it's like support the game on, I think, like Patreon/cinswitch, and then check out the demo on itch.io.
Awesome.
And join our Discord.
Yes, and the Discord's great, I will say, so people should join it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much both again for coming on. I had a really good time chatting, and I really appreciate you generously gifting your time to talk about the game. I think people are going to really enjoy it when they get a chance to really dig into it.
Yay. Yay, making the things about gender. I'm broken in a special way where I have to just write 300,000 words about gender.
Yes.
Then people can read it and they can see themselves in that art, and that is, you know, the creative process.
And then I'll draw it.
Oh, awesome. Well, thanks so much again, and I hope everyone enjoyed listening to this episode as much as we did recording it, and I hope that y'all have a fantastic week. Keep an open mind and stay TFE, and we'll see you back again next week. But in the meantime, bye for now.
Yay.
Yeah, thanks again for having us.